Here we are together again in the quilting studio. Thanks for joining me out here. I've got a lot to show you right here on this one. I think you're going to be liking it. Who likes themselves some Crown Royal quilt? Very popular, right? So much fun. I had a gentleman come in and brought me almost 200 bags from the Crown Royal, and he wanted to commission a quilt to have it made for his friend for his 70th birthday. And this is my busy season over here at the quilting studio. I have lots of quilts up here on the quilt rack, which I love, 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 love. Didn't have a lot of time to be making a quilt, but I contacted my good friend Linda and commissioned her to be able to make this quilt for this client. And it took a while to get it done. He brought them in a couple of months ago, and I'll tell you some of the reasons why. One is because we had to determine the type of pattern to be able to use. Two is you can see that this has a lot of pieces to it. It just takes a while to make a quilt, just to put it together, cut all the pieces. All of those Crown Royals right there had to be trimmed up just perfectly. Lots happening with it. If you've had a Crown Royal bag, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot to getting that ready. And three is, it turns out this quilt is not small. No, no, no. She's 105 inches each way. Each way. So she's a very generous king size quilt. His friend's going to be getting himself an excellent gift right here. They must be very good friends, which I am excited about. So let me tell you a couple things. One is these are like a little flannel piece right here. And so you want to be careful if you're doing your Crown Royal bags. You want to be able to cut them very straight and press them. And you might even consider putting stabilizer on the back. The other thing is he wanted to have a really great Crown Royal applique on it. And I'll show you when I unroll this. There's a very large Crown Royal bag up here underneath on the front side. It's almost probably at least a third again bigger than this one. And then on the back, my friend did something that she is pretty proficient at, and that is to add some pieces to the back to be able to embellish the back as well. So she did it on here. One of the reasons is because the backing fabric just wasn't big enough. The main backing fabric is like this, the dark purple with the fabulous gold polka dots on it, just fantastic. And then the parts that you can see are right here on the backing. This is the same as the border on the front, and then she's embellished with several gold pieces to go between it. And then she put on the backing this other Crown Royal bottle right here that's still pretty good size. This is about 10 inches. The other one's probably at least 12 or so. Very large. And there's an endorsement here with the acknowledgement to his friend, who it's from, and the date. Excellent. A very nice idea to do if that's something you're going to gift a quilt. I would always suggest putting an acknowledgement. It certainly doesn't have to be as fancy as this one. Even if you get it with a fabric pen, it's so nice to be able to write that on there and let them know any items about the quilt that you would like them to have. The design I'm putting on here is Japonica, and we're doing it in the antique gold color of thread to pull out more of the gold that's right here. It's adding a really nice soft wave to the quilt. And this fellow and his friend, their families like to go boating together. They have yachts. And so this will add kind of some soft movement with the waves onto the quilt right there. Like I say, when I unroll it, you'll be able to see what the backing looks like and how interesting it is that she connected that onto the backing. Another comment I always like to make is when you're following your sashing or your borders, and you can do that at a diagonal connection, I always suggest doing so. The eye will move much more smoothly over a diagonal connection than it will a straight on line. So something to be thinking about when you're doing your stitching and you're adding your borders. I love to give you tips and tricks along the way. Pressing jobs are always important. The better pressing you do on the back side of the quilt, the better it turns out on the front. Always want to keep that in mind. Send me a quilt over here to the quilting studio. I have lots of designs I can help you choose with, and I have lots of colors of thread because I want to be able to entertain any color that you have a desire for. Have a lovely day, because I know I will.